Women, what was your best sex like? What did the guy or girl do? How long did it last? Is that person still together with you or not? It's with my current partner of 2.5 years. It's not that he does or doesn't do anything. I think it's largely two factors, one being that we're just extremely attracted to each other and have fantastic sexual chemistry. Or at least, I'm for sure extremely attracted to him physically and mentally, and the latter part for me is really crucial when it comes to generating true lust. He is very sexually assertive, which is new for me in sexual partners, so maybe that plays into it as well. The sex is the best of my life because it's just really passionate. Absolutely raw, intense, adventurous and wild sex, but still with a core of emotional intimacy and connection. How long it lasts varies a lot. In the morning it's usually a shorter thing, 20 minutes, a bit more focused. In the evening we often do these multi-session marathons where over the course of a few hours we might have sex for an hour, various activities, take a break to chat and hang out, go back to having sex, take a break, etc. The person was obsessed with me and I with them. We constantly wanted to fuck every time we saw each other. We got married and had kids and then got divorced. I still miss the sex, but my God, that man was drama. My husband now. We've been together for 10 years, and we had a kid 2 years ago. Usually that time plus a child means dead sex life. It did for a while. I needed to recover and feel good again. But holy shit, once we got back on the wagon, we started communicating better and talked about our fantasies, etc., and it's been a whirlwind. I think at this point each time we have sex it's like a new experience and is getting better each time. Sometimes it's fast and furious and sometimes it's slow and passionate. Been an amazing experience, to be honest. It was with my current partner. Good Lord, the sex is insanely good. He is so into me, is completely focused on what feels good for me, he just makes me feel incredible. The best sex we've ever had is probably when he kept me on the edge of orgasm for ages, and when he finally let me come it was so hard I was seeing stars. He's wonderful in lots of ways, the sex is the icing on the cake. My best sex was emotionally fulfilling, physically satisfying, and a learning experience. The guy was someone I really love and respect. We had sex almost every day for 4 months. It was also intellectually stimulating and mind-boggling. Foreplay was of different ways. Sometimes it was a nice conversation over drinks, or sometimes it's kisses and a lot of touching. The guy gave me pleasure, we almost did everything, oral, penetrative, anal and position-wise, it was also good. One time we even had a quickie in the room of my aunt in the province because we were so hot and my aunt was conservative, but we didn't care, grabbed each other and just shagged hard. The last day we had sex was a day before he went back to England and it was a day full of erotic sex. I had multiple orgasms and him too. When we got tired, we just rested and cuddled, expressed what we want to say. It was quite emotional. I even wanted to write a book about this relationship, but I think it's better to savor the moment and the memories we had first. It was loving. No, we're not together anymore, but we still communicate. Sigh. So long ago now he died. We were simply really connected. Also, met in our 40s so we weren't self-conscious at all, which makes everything so much more fun. Good memories. Literally yesterday. I orgasmed for the first time with another person with him. I guess there was a lot of build-up. The actual sex was short, but there was so much teasing and it was genuinely fun. We're not together, but we're sort of dating and I'm taking it slow, but after yesterday I'm thinking yes, I want us to be together maybe. The best sex I've ever had started on day 1 with my current partner. He's very skilled, and definitely matches my energy. He loves to make me come, knows how to make me squirt. It's nice to finally have someone who really is an attentive partner. We've been together nearly 9 years and it just keeps getting better. We often joke that we'll die from the intensity of tandem orgasms. My current partner, who I am marrying next year. He's delicious. All of him. I'm so stoked. She was assertive, knowledgeable, and devoted to my pleasure. My current partner. I hadn't orgasmed before her, so there's that, but the way she makes my body feel. Also takes control, which is something I previously could not deal with, but now I love. Also first person who made me feel beautiful naked. So she just makes me feel so good. We had sex to the Weekends trilogy over 2.5 hours long. We also kept going when the album restarted. My boyfriend at the time, now husband, was the first person to ever make me orgasm. He ate me out first time I'd ever received, massaged me all over. It started out soft and then we finished off rough. He satisfied all of my kinks as well as asked me how I felt throughout. It wasn't just physical, it was passionate. Here we are 12 years later. The one that stands out the most was when we spent about an hour on foreplay. And he made it all about me. I don't remember the actual sex, but several years later I still yearn for the foreplay part. I mean, foreplay definitely still happens, but that time was absolutely magical. And yes, we are still together. Just celebrated our 24th anniversary. This was about 4 years ago. The best one-night stand I ever had was with some British businessman. I was in my early 20s and he was maybe 30-35 or so. We hung out the whole night at the bar and I was wildly attracted to him, so we went to his hotel a couple streets down. That sex was like out of a movie, picking me up against the wall and shit. He even kissed my forehead and said goodbye in the morning, then told me to sleep in when he left, face with tears of joy. It was a great time, lol. My fiancé is consistently the best sex I have ever had though. We've been together almost 10 years, and it's still so fun, stupid, passionate, and feels fucking amazing every single time. And he gets me off almost every time, within like 5 minutes, which I cannot say about any other sex partner I've ever had. I know everyone says sex after kids sucks, but I honestly feel like the connection we made through parenthood intensified our intimacy to a new level. We are better communicators of our wants and needs, we make it last, and it's passionate as hell. It's not 10 times a week like it used to be, but when it happens it's better than having it 10 times a week, lol. I don't have a this one time it was the best because since having kids it just keeps getting better. We've been together for 10 years and had some amazing sex throughout, but I'd say the last few years it's been next level. I always dreaded the marriage and kids kill your sex life phase, but maybe those people just didn't have a good foundation to start with. Of course it ebbs and flows, and there have been times where we haven't quite matched up, but the closeness and newness of this chapter of our lives has gotten us to really come together in more ways than one, lol. Hard to say. Sex with my husband when I was pregnant was absolutely bomb. I didn't have to worry about my body. Sex with my asshole ex was insanely passionate and I've never felt so needed and wanted on a primal level. He was in a famous rock band, met him at a wedding he played at, it was actually a wild night. He wore a kilt, was covered in tattoos and wanted to give me head all night. Which he did. Went for hours. Was wild. My favorite sex is with my current partner because we are emotionally connected, we like the same things, and he would not be satisfied if I was not satisfied and vice versa. He is amazing. My singular best sex was after my divorce. I had not had sex in probably 3 years, and the sex in my marriage was not terrible but it was infrequent and I would not say it was great. I had met a man that I had a good connection with, and my libido came back with a ferocity that I did not expect. He had also not had sex in a while and our first night together I discovered that he was a pleasure dom, lol. It was insane. With him I discovered how I can orgasm for an hour straight. He had magic hands, and we lived out a couple of fantasies. The relationship went on for a few months but ultimately did not last. I have no desire to see or speak to him again, but I am so glad I met him. I do still prefer the sex with my partner who I am in love with, but goddamn what a fantastic reintroduction to men and dating after being married. At the beginning of our relationship, my husband would have a debrief time after sex. He would ask me what I liked and didn't like, as well as what I wanted more of. At the time, I thought it was sweet but a bit unusual. Now, I can confidently say that I have amazing sex every time because he took the time to learn what I needed from the start. I had just come out of an abusive relationship. He treated me so respectfully and desired. I know I was thirsty for it. Best oral and best sex in overall. Lasted only 1.5 mo, he wasn't interested in a relationship and I guess I wasn't ready. But he kinda put me back together again and I am so grateful. My husband. He puts so much time into learning my body, my reactions, my pleasure, is an eater, and has an amazing dick all at the same time. I love to have sex, I don't get sore or tired easily, and he can go for hours. He's open to all my freaky ideas, is okay with trying new things, and makes me feel sexier than ever. I'm very happy with our sex life and I fantasize about him all the time. It was this with my current partner of 3 years. The best time gets replaced all the time lol, but we have amazing sexual chemistry and he's a great listener when it comes to what I like. My libido tends to fluctuate a lot, his is constantly high, so sometimes it can be harder to get me to come, but he always does. On a good day though? That man can make me orgasm non-stop. It's insane. I tell him all the time it just isn't fair because I can't do the same to him lol. 11 orgasms in the space of 4-5 hours. Met a guy for a first date, and prior to meeting our chats had started to get hot pepper. We ended up going for a drive, or it started with some teasing and play, but my gosh, he knew even then what to do. We went to different locations throughout the night and went like crazy. It was the best sex I'd ever had. We have hooked up a few times since then, and each time is just as amazing. He introduced me to the pleasure of hair pulling, throat grabbing, and some light pain pleasure. I've lost count on the meter, but it is definitely multiples each time. My wife, we have amazing sexual and romantic chemistry, she's assertive and I'm submissive, and OMG does she know her way around my body hot face. We fucked all night long with breaks several rounds and he made me cut like 5 times? But what made it good wasn't the amount of orgasm, more the passion between us. It was just a match between us. With my ex's best friend. Danced around it for a few months, should we, shouldn't we? I was fresh out of that breakup, he was fully obsessed with me and I was with him. He wouldn't rest until he made me come. We would go 4 or 5 rounds and he would make me come every time. The chemistry we had was unreal, but when I snapped into reality after a few months, I needed something more sustainable. We were also very close as friends, and I'd never met anyone who made me laugh harder than him. I miss him a lot, but not even for sex reasons. My ex-wife. She knew how to use her tongue on me. After her, I have had multiple sexual partners, including my 1.5-year boyfriend, and no one has ever made me come again except once. I feel miserable. NGL, a gigolo who was younger than me, insanely attractive, the right size, he knew what to do, and it took as long as I wanted. Did that once because I wanted to try it. Was fine, but not something I would repeat. Sex with my current partner has been the best. When we first started dating, he had some issues with ED. This lasted probably the first month of us being sexually active. He was able to push that aside and instead just really actively focused on my pleasure. As this lasted for a few weeks, I started getting very comfortable with the focus being on me. He was super tuned into learning my body and made me feel sexy and more comfortable opening up. Once his penis finally got to know me and decided he could trust me, lol, sex has become more geared towards PIV. It was just a really cool start to a relationship. It made me recognize my pleasure itself was something that turned him on, and whether that was the case in my past relationships or not, I didn't feel that. My FWB, whom I stopped seeing because I have developed some feelings and he wouldn't reciprocate. We are both satisfied with the sex. He's the only who has made me orgasm 3 times in a row. And he said he doesn't want to look for anyone, but gotta stop whatever this is. Has to be my current boyfriend. We've been together for 1 year and 2 months, he is all about me, he cares to know what I like in bed, just like I care to know what he likes, he has no shame in trying out new things that I may be interested in, and I'm the same with him. He makes me feel so comfortable, he makes sure I'm feeling good, he checks in with me while having sex, especially after it was rough. He will slow it down and ask if I'm okay. He just cares for me so much, it's such a turn on, and the foreplay is delicious. OMG, I never liked kissing until I got with him, and he knows where to kiss on my body to turn me on. His dirty talking too, oh my gosh, I myself have to work on it cause I know he likes it, but I just overthink what I'm gonna say so much. I need to fix that and let go. And when he pulls my hair and turns my head so he can see my face, and then the eye contact we make and he smiles at me and goes harder. I don't want sex if it's not with him, to put it plain and simple. Smiling face with smiling eyes. We were 22, haven't found anyone since that could read my body the same way. Our chemistry was off the charts from the moment we met, and it just got better from there. I trusted him so much, he was so kind and thoughtful while also just ravaging the shit out of me. It was fun, but also deeply connected and loving. I still masturbate to the way he went down on me, like he was a starving man. We recently reconnected 20 years later and almost had a chance to make something of it, but it fell apart, largely because I'm just healing from a 10-year relationship. He has kids that take precedence and we live on different sides of the country. It's hard not to think about him. I've been dating and hooking up with other people and have yet to find that chemistry I had with him. Just last night my husband went down on me. He doesn't a lot because I usually don't enjoy it. Last night was different. I got to get off in his mouth for once, face with tears of joy. An ex simply being open and vulnerable was a game changer. Communication is key. It's why missionary is still my favorite position. My eyes rolled and I blacked out when I came. 10-10. With my husband, every time we have sex it's always mind-blowing. He can make me orgasm multiple times and we last a good couple hours. He understands my body, he knows what I like, and when we're having sex it's like I can't get enough of him. Pregnancy sex was wild because I just wanted to do it all day every day, like I craved him. The orgasms are always out of this world and I love having sex with him because of how good he makes me feel during sex. Current partner, he has a big dick that makes me come pretty much after 2 minutes, he has stamina and he loves to play with my nipple piercings. I think there are moments in my life where sex was really good. I was able to try things I wanted to and hadn't before with people I didn't have a strong attachment to, but I do think there is a difference for me between the primal sexual urge and satisfaction and the loving sex I'm having with the partner I love. So I'd say my best sex in my current stage in life is with my long-term partner. It's not just physically fulfilling, but emotionally. It feels special and nice and loving, and I get a sense of security and comfort when we're intimate. That's what makes it so great. My wife, that woman knows how to handle business. I'm quite kinky and like to experiment, and I couldn't imagine feeling safer while exploring. She has always the perfect amount of rough, romantic, top-tier dirty talk, exactly what I need. She can read me and my wants more than should be possible. For years in, and every time we have sex is the best sex of my life. I'm so goddamn fortunate. Life is bullshit, but at least my sex life is brag-worthy. I ended up having a partner who was a male sex worker for a lot of his life. Goddamn did that man know how to please a woman, and it was all about me. He rarely asked for anything in return. In my experience, the people I have the best sex with are not the people who are good to date, even in a poly setting. But that's my experience. It was so good because there was zero inhibitions. Both people fully open to the experience, and when it was done, we were okay to leave it like that and there was no expectations of anything else. My best sex is with my husband. He makes me feel loved, he cares about my pleasure, and he really likes to pleasure me. I can't point only to one time we had sex, as it is mind-blowing almost every time. It's a bit surreal actually. A situationship. He has a foot fetish, something new and exciting. This man knows what he likes and how he likes it. But it was also so healthy because we always talked about what we liked and didn't like about it afterwards, but I got attached when he said not to from the beginning. The first person I slept with after divorcing my ex. Situationship lasted roughly a year on and off. Still will send him feet pics though. I'll never forget the night this guy slammed me up against the wall. I still for a wall slam. Stared me down, kissed me with insane passion, and took all my clothes off. I knew it was the hottest shit of my life in the moment. Probably an hour of just being totally dominated. Friend with benefits that lasted too long and got complicated. Best sex ever is with my husband's second marriage. After coming out from a dead bedroom with my first husband where I felt inadequate and undesirable, I feel alive. No pressure about initiating, no questions if he desires me or not, no template with my ex-husband when we had sex. It had to be Sunday 19h, after shower, 1 or 2 positions allowed, and once every months and months. Sex life now is playful, fun, passionate, frequent, uncomplicated, no second guessing, no fear of rejection, it just feels natural. The best for me has been with someone who I have deep feelings for, and when my partner is a bit dominating and rough and passionate. Lots of foreplay, dirty talk, and encouragement always helps too. I have an amazing sex life, but also I'm over 40s. When I give details I get downvoted cause people think I'm lying. Honestly, size, positioning and his experience. The whole relationship was supposed to be about sex, but he wanted more. He also turned out to be a man-baby alcoholic, and I couldn't deal with his huge ego, constant screaming and him neglecting the 2 puppies he got to impress me. He also came with 2 preteens, and he and I had a 16-year age difference, so it was all a bit weird to start with, lol. Sex was great, but that's all I really wanted out of the situation, and he was being too pushy about wanting more. It was very kinky and hot. He never got me off, but we would do it for hours until the early AM. I've never been swollen with someone like that. I had car sex for the first time with him, where I was sitting on his lap while we were both in the driver's seat. He put his hand on my mouth, so I wouldn't make too much noise. I think about that time the most. We don't talk anymore. We had really good flirting before, and he had the right kind of dominance in bed. Like a gentle confidence and a lot of power, but equal parts respect. The hold my wrists down while he drilled me hard, but was ready to let up at any moment. Not the hair pulling and choking kind. My last ex. He moved away for work, otherwise I would have married him. Our best sex was about 5 hours long through the night. He couldn't finish from penetration and had energy for days, so we just kept going and going. He had come back to the UK for a short visit and we reconnected. It was amazing. We always had the most amazing connection. I was utterly obsessed with him as a person as well as in the bedroom. Our bodies just fit together like a dream, since we are of similar height, but also on a spiritual level. We were so good at pleasing one another. He pushed my boundaries and I loved it because I was pleasing him, and he just knew his way around my body and had me ready all the time for him. I always felt so much emotion when we were together, in the best kind of way. Damn, I still miss him like hell. But he was ambitious in his career and I'm more family driven. He was the love of my life, but his was his job. I wish him all the best. Best sex has always been with other women, tbh. My ex-partner literally walked into his living room, pushed me into the sofa, grabbed me by the hair, slid my underwear to the side and had his way kissing my neck. Was a surprise way to say hello. Will give him that face with tears of joy. Only lasted 5 months, and I do miss the sex as much as he was dominant. He made me feel safe. Just his personality was shit face with tears of joy. Current BF, it's not just the sex. He is so good at building up to it. There is such passion in how he touches me, yanks on my clothes. It's like he is starving for me every time. I've never had a man want me like that. He's never quick, always wants me be satisfied first. He's perfect. A vibrator was involved, but I can't tell you what made it so good. We've done the same thing since and it was still amazing, but not the same level. During a random evening with my ex. It was slow and sensual while music softly played in the background. I had no care in the world and was super relaxed. And he unexpectedly gave me my first orgasm through penetration. I'll never forget that moment. The best sex of my life was with a complete and total nut job. I didn't realize it at the beginning, but quickly did. Unfortunately, he quickly became very abusive, and then when I cut him off, a stalker for several months. But the sexual chemistry was out of this world. We instinctively knew each other's kinks and fantasies and were able to play those out without much talking on either side. It lasted 3 months and then he lost his damn mind. Shame. It was with a FWB I had during college. A little older guy, he was very confident, obviously more experienced than I was, but we just had a spark sexually. It wasn't even the physical piece, as I've had bigger, though he had some nice girth. I think it was how he wasn't rushed. He changed the pace nicely, varied things up, and was concerned with both of our needs. And no, we are not and never were together. I haven't been in touch with him in 10 years, at this point. The best is in my current relationship because of the frequency. We go anywhere from 1 to 4 times a day, and it's kept up for about a year now. I love the frequent closeness as I'm very physical and the intimacy makes me feel loved. I also love that he wants me so much. We kiss a lot also, and I absolutely love to make out. In past relationships, kissing passionately or for a long time always faded after a while. We also role play, which I've always wanted to try but never felt comfortable to initiate until I met him. Current husband. There is just something about him. We don't have sex a lot, my fault, at times I'm just exhausted or my body hurts. We don't have kids together. My tubes are tired, but every time we have sex I just kinda pray. One slips through. It's the only thing I'm missing from him is having his baby pensive face. I orgasm about every time regardless. It was with my ex-husband. He was my first and still is the only sexual partner I have had. Most of the sex we had throughout our marriage was incredible. I believe great sex involves a willingness to please, connection and attraction, talking about sex with your partner and reviewing sexual experiences with intent to find out what your partner likes, dislikes, and improvements. He really made an effort to please me sexually before he could be pleased. He just wanted it that way. I appreciate him for it. However, we did have a top 10 list of the best sexual experiences we had together. I'm going to talk about one of those 10. It was passionate, wild, soft, and hard all at the same time. I initiated it on the couch and started with foreplay on the couch. Bear in mind, foreplay for me might be different to most people because most times I was already wet. In this instance, it was kissing and grinding, lasted under 3 minutes and got to it right there. Overall, the entire session lasted about 15 minutes, which was longer than we normally did. I'm not saying it was great because it was longer than normal, because we had a couple sessions where it lasted almost an hour and I disliked those ones. It was great because we genuinely had a fierce desire and craving for each other and wanted to satisfy each other, as well as trying sex on a new place. Relaxed, tons of foreplay, very emotionally connected. The length of the sex itself isn't much of a factor, except too long is too long. Yes, still together.